an example of taxonomy classification, but instead of using animals or plants or anything else, I'm going to be using my snow globes. So I've picked a few snow globes. I've got 8 here, and I'm going to try to classify them. They're all very different in their own sort of unique way, but they do have sort of certain characteristics which I can group together. So one of the ways I could group them together could be colour, but I don't really want to do that just because there's quite a lot of variation in certain colours. Say if I were to do it in green, there's sort of no consistency with the same green or anything, so I don't really want to do that as my main sort of first one or anything, nor do I want to do size, because even if I pick ones with a similar sort of bulb size, there is still some size difference. You can't quite see it on that camera angle, but yeah, there is. This one's a little bit higher than this one. So I figured the first way to split my group in half, I'm going to be doing it by what's inside the snow globes. So some of the snow globes have just snow in them essentially, whilst other snow globes have glitter inside them, as you can see here. So I'm going to split my group in half by doing that first. So I'm going to select all the ones with snow in, just snow only. My monkey world one. And this one as well. And then all my glitter ones here as well. So these all just have glitter in them. As you can see, glitter only. So I've managed just by doing this, by splitting these two up, I've already managed to split half the group up. Right. Now I'll pick one group at a time to start with. So I'll start with the snow group first. So there is quite a bit of variation within the snow group. You can just about see that. There we go. So I can do this by shape, and that'll split this group in half as well. So these ones, they have quite a similar shape, it being sort of like a semicircle, whilst these have certainly like a globe shape, which makes that characteristic very different from each other. So these two can then go in a group together. So starting with these two first. Now these are quite similar. This my Scotland one is a little bit taller than the Monkey World one, but a characteristic I thought where I could differentiate them between the two could be the base. So with the Monkey World one, the base is rather smooth, and with the Scotland one, it's very patterned all around. It's got 3D prints of everything. So I figured I could classify it such as that. So I've classified this one by having snow in it by having a globe, and by having a smooth base. And similar to this one has been classified by having snow inside it, also having a globe shape, but having sort of an indented base around it essentially. So there we go, those two are done. Now I move on to these two, the other sort of two of the snow group. Now I'm sort of very limited by how I can differentiate between these two besides picking the actual picture, but obviously that can be really dependent on where you're getting the snow globe from. So the only sort of major characteristic I differentiated between these two would be the base also. This one has a much thinner base with a couple of studs on. Whilst this one has sort of a more pronounced base, if that makes sense, with no studs whatsoever. So this one is held up by 1, 2, 3 studs. This one hasn't got any, and it's got a more of a pronounced rim, whilst this one hasn't. So that's how I'm going to be differentiating between these two. This having snow in it, being a semi-circle shape, and having a non-pronounced rim with studs. Well, this one is also a part of the snow globe, also having a semicircle shape and having no studs with a more sort of pronounced rim as well. Perfect, so that's everything, all of them classified in the snow group. Now we move to the glitter group. If you can just about see those. Okay, so this one might be a little bit more difficult just because they all sort of mostly have these sort of 3D rims with loads of different patterns on them. So the way I'm going to start classifying these guys, the first major one, I'm going to go with the glitter sort of tactic again. These three have iridescent glitter. So they're all very different from the island snow globe, which has all completely green glitter, no iridescent coloured glitter whatsoever, it's all green. So that one's managed to be separated, so yeah. Okay, so I'm left with the last two remaining specimens of the glitter group. Now initially I find these quite hard to sort of identify because they're quite similar. They both have an iridescent glitter inside. They're both globe shaped, and albeit just a very slight height difference. And they both have these very detailed bases. So the only way I can say with these is that I might actually keep these together. What we might be seeing here is a bit of intra-species variation. So I'm actually going to probably keep these together. And that's all of them therefore identified. So this is all of the glitter group. I'll just go through it once more. These all share a common characteristic of having glitter rather than snow, like our previous group. I've managed to initially find a defining characteristic with this one because this has all green glitter whilst all the rest has iridescent coloured glitter. So that one's done. With these I was initially going to say, well, the base is quite smooth compared to these, but actually I went with a different key which I haven't before, which is the ornament in the middle. This has an animal base, not an animal base, sorry, an animal ornament, whilst these both share a pillar / building ornament. So that's how I've differentiated between them. And this, as I just said, I'm going to keep these together. We might be looking at a bit of intra-species variation here because they're both very similar with only just very minor differences. This having sort of a red pillar and this being from Weymouth and this one being from Chattanooga. So there we go. That is my example of taxonomy, but using snow globes. There we go.